Hi, I'm Christy. I am a psychic medium and energy worker, and this is my friend.
Hello, I'm Alex.
Yeah. And she is also kind of, well, everyone's psychic, but she's had lots of experiences with spirity stuff. Yeah. So, she's another perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, if you're like professionally doing all this stuff, and I'm more like if it's just like an everyday thing.
Anyway, so today we wanted to talk about like the different clairs, so like the different ways of sensing spirit or energy or whatever. Because I've talked about a couple times if you're sensitive to energy, then but I haven't really explained what that means.
Yeah, and also like the different kind of clairs are like, you know, ways that you will communicate with spirit or hear spirit, and so not everyone does it in exactly the same way. Yeah. So there's different ways that you can communicate.
Yeah, and everyone's, I think everyone's different. So I think the most common one that we would want to start with is clairvoyance. Yes. Clairvoyance refers to seeing spirit. So it's really just anything that you like visualize kind of, or comes to you, like it would seem like you're looking at it kind of. And that's a really, really common one. Because a lot of people talk about like seeing a spirit or seeing things out of the corner of their eyes, and that's clairvoyance.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I feel like, and sometimes people get confused because like they think they're like seeing like, I think sometimes people think clairvoyance is when you like see something as real as if I'm like looking at you right now, but I feel like sometimes it's different.
It's not quite like that.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like that's what people think it is, and so like sometimes it's like you're seeing it, but you know it's not there, but you still like see
it's not like schizophrenia.
Yeah.
So if you are seeing things that other people aren't seeing, and you can't tell whether they're like physically there or not, you need to go see a psychiatrist. That's I mean, that's important. So I mean, I thought I had schizophrenia at first, clairvoyance is if you're not used to it or you don't pay attention to it, and then all of a sudden there's like a lot of activity, it's a little freaky. It can be a little freaky.
Yeah. And also, that's a thing with all of these different types, is that you can, like, control how you communicate. If clairvoyance freaks you out,
you can say, I don't want to
see things. Like, I can see things. I'm clairvoyant. I saw things when I was younger, but now it freaks me out, and so now spirits typically don't communicate with me.
Through that way. Because you've
told
put
them
that out there. You put that intention that you want to communicate in a different way.
Yeah. So it's all of this can sound scary if you're hearing it for the first time, but you have complete control.
But it's also really cool.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you can either have two reactions. Like, I was terrified. She thought it was really cool.
I was terrified for about 3 weeks. Okay. And then I went to a psychologist and thought I had schizophrenia. Yeah. But that was because I was dealing with little shits, which... Little shits are annoying. They're the annoying ones that try to mess with you. Yeah. So, we can talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about that time.
Yeah. So that's what I was dealing with. My guides were like, okay, you need to hurry up. And so they were like, okay, well, we're not just going to block out all the little shits for you. So then I saw them all, and I was like super paranoid all the time because you're like seeing people all the time.
But that won't happen to everybody.
No, that won't happen to everyone.
I feel like you said like blocking was a lesson you needed to learn.
Yeah, I needed to learn how to, well, not how to, but I needed to learn to put up my bubble, to protect myself, to set boundaries with spirit, because a lot of people, I feel like, don't, and then that's when
that's when things get scary.
Things.
Yeah, and so like
this is scary. Not scary, but
it can be though. It can be. I think it can be, and I don't think that's bad to say that it can be scary. But like, so, but the point is that like,
but there's nothing to be scared of.
Yeah, it can be scary. There's nothing to be scared of. Yeah. But who knows? Maybe you won't even have to deal with them, because like for me, my guides pretty much block out all the bad stuff. I don't have to too much work. Like, that's not a lesson I need to learn. So I kind of just give most of the good stuff.
Okay.
Are there ways to practice clairvoyance, or how do you figure out if you're clairvoyant?
So, really, it's going to seem at first like you are imagining things, kind of. But, and like, maybe you are a little at first, but like, it's like how, if you're communicating with your eyes and you picture them as someone, like I said, to picture someone that you feel like would be helping you, and then they'll take that and mold that over time. So you'll get the right thing. And it's like, you may be the one initiating it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like, you're trying to see things, but they'll lead you to the right path. You're not just gonna see random crap.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do see what seems like random crap, and it's not at all. It's like symbolic of things.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, especially if you're first getting into it, symbolism is really important. And just kind of make a mental note of those and like say to your guides, like, this means this to me, this means this to me, so that you're clear, so that if that shows up, you know exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And also, think about your childhood. Like, maybe there's some things you just assumed you imagined, like imaginary friends, or like weird things.
I saw an alien in my basement.
Exactly. And I saw 2 elf-like fairies next to my bed, and I thought they were imaginary, but now I know it was clairvoyant. So if you're clairvoyant, chances are sometime growing up when you were less like closed off.
Yeah, if you think you had an overactive imagination when you were a child, then you might be clairvoyant.
Yeah, review those experiences.
They
might have been real.
So that, that's weird stuff, but it's true, and it's cool to look back on things and be like, oh my god, that's what that was from.
Yeah.
Clairsentience is about feeling.
Yes, and this is another type of clair, like another way you can communicate.
Yeah. So that is not physical feeling, like, because there is a type of sensing where you're like, you feel like someone's touching your arm or something. It's more of an emotion type of feeling. Or like if you're doing a reading and you're contacting someone that died, you may feel the way they felt when they were dying, and that clues you in to that information. Like, it comes through feeling.
Yeah.
So clairsentience is super helpful in navigating relationships with other people, because it's not just communicating with spirit, it's communicating with energy, and everyone is energy. Like, people talk about auras or whatever, like, so when someone's like having a rough day, like you that's gonna change their energy a little bit. They're gonna be sending out different vibes, and if you're clairsentient, then you're gonna feel that, and it's difficult to get used to.
That's annoying.
And shielding is super important. Like, you really need to work on your bubble, otherwise you're gonna be taking on everyone's emotions. You're gonna be taking on people's sadness and anger and frustration, and that makes it a little easier for them at the time, but you're like putting a bunch of shit on yourself.
Yeah, like I feel like it's one of those situations where like you could be feeling totally fine, you're in a perfectly good mood, and then you walk into a room and there's someone in there who's in a bad mood, and all of a sudden you just like are in a terrible mood yourself, and you're just like, well, like that is...
Yeah. I have a telepathic, empathic connection with one of my friends who doesn't live in the state, and if he's upset, I will all of a sudden be like, oh my god, I feel like so sad, or blah blah blah, and then I'll text him and be like, are you okay? And he'll be like, no, I'm not okay, and he's feeling exactly what I felt. So it's like, all the clairs are ways of getting information. So clairsentience is difficult, and you really need to practice shielding if that's a way that you communicate.
Yeah. This is not something to just jump into. Like,
No, because it can be overwhelming.
yeah, ease your way into this one.
Yeah, think about if you were feeling all the people in the room's emotions. Well, that's more an empath, but
Yeah.
still, same thing. If all the ghosties feeling all the spirits' emotions, when you're in a room full of people, I promise you, there are overbearing grandparents that want to talk to their living, grandchildren, and that can be really overwhelming if clairsentience is a thing that you are using or that you're open to. So, yeah, be careful. Well, not careful. Be respectful of yourself and your own boundaries.
Yeah. So another way of communicating is clairaudience, which is basically where you hear things. It's clairaudience is hard, I think, because sometimes it can just sound like yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you have to. So it's not
like I hear her right now.
Yeah, it's in your head.
It sounds like your thoughts.
Yeah.
Until you get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're
so it's hard to know when it's happening.
Yeah, like when you're talking to your guides, you have like two streams of consciousness, and one's a little different than maybe you're thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it sounds the same though. So you're like, this is just another thought process I'm going through.
Yeah.
And then over time,
you get
it differentiates and you hear different. I mean, they sound different.
Yeah.
That's my experience at least.
Yeah. For me, it's kind of like I think clairaudience is one of the hardest ones because a lot of self-doubt can come in when you can be like, am I actually hearing these people or am I just like having a conversation with myself? Like, so you can like, so there's always, you have to, there's always an aspect of being like, am I actually like having a conversation or like,
I think that's with every
yeah.
form of communication with spirit though.
Yeah.
Especially people think that they're imagining things with clairvoyance and making stuff up with claircognizance, which we'll get to in a second.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, clairaudience can be, but it comes in a lot of, sometimes it's like, just like little things, like sometimes I will be doing something that's not the best, and I'll just hear someone in my head being like, are you really doing this right now? Or like, I'll like say something that like, that's like, I don't know, like negative, or like, like self-pitying or something, or like, I not say it, like, I'll be like thinking something, and they'll be like, really? Like, you're gonna be this dramatic about this? So, like, I get chastised a lot via clairaudience.
Yeah. I mean, my guides are always a little, sarcastic as well.
Yeah.
So.
Like, sometimes I'll, like, if I'm, like, in a bad mood.
But
yeah.
Like, if you're close to people, you're kind of rude to them.
You call them out. Yeah, they basically just use it to call me out. Like, if I'm, like, in a bad mood and I'm thinking something, they'll be like, that's not true. Stop being an idiot. And I'll be like, okay, rude.
But they do it with love.
Yeah.
They do. Okay. So, what I mentioned previously, claircognizance.
Yep.
Kind of a mouthful. I think they all kind of are, though. Is where you just know things. And that sounds a little weird, but
You'll know it when it happens.
Yeah. So I experience claircognizance. That's one of my main ways of communicating with spirit.
Yeah.
Do you experience claircognizance?
Kind of.
Okay. So, claircognizance. You basically, when you are using that avenue of connecting with spirit or energy or whatever, it's not like you just know facts. That's not what it is. It's like, I mean, you do rolled into it, but it's really about you understand a situation. Like, you understand, you understand the relationship between two people. It's not like you know that they're mad at them. It's like you understand fully.
Yeah, and it's not because someone tells you this information.
No,
it's
you just
you
know it. You just all of a sudden have that knowledge, have that understanding, and it's super helpful. Especially when you're connecting with people's loved ones who have passed, because if you understand them as a person, like you just like have a full understanding of that person or of the relationships, then that's validation for the person that you're actually connecting with them.
Yeah.
Which is super important. But claircognizance, I think, comes in really handy. It's probably what I use the most, I would say. And it's not any work. I mean, none of them are really any work. I think, well, for me at least.
Yeah, for you. They can be work, though.
Yeah, for me at least, when I was developing when I was becoming aware of my clairvoyance and clairaudience and clairsentience and all that good stuff, the claircognizance just kind of came with it.
Yeah.
Without me having to pay attention to anything, like be aware of anything.
Yeah.
It was just like a thing, and then all of a sudden I was like, how do I know these things? Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
So it's really helpful, and it's really fun. And, yeah.
Is that all of the big ones?
I think so,
Yeah.
yeah.
So but this is by no means the only ways that spirit
Oh,
communicates.
no.
They communicate in endless different kinds of ways.
Yeah.
And, you might, maybe you are like her and you can do all of the clair things. Maybe you're like me and you can just do some of them. Neither of those are better or worse.
No.
They're just, ways to communicate.
Yeah. It's easier for some people to dance without looking like a fool. And so, that's kind of like, it's easier for some people to communicate. So you may have multiple of the ways of connecting with spirit. You may have like a ton. You may have just one.
Or maybe you communicate with them in an entirely different way.
Maybe it's
yeah. Just dreams. Maybe it's just like symbols and little things you find.
Yeah. So the clairs are really the senses.
Yeah.
Of communicating. So like sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. But there's other ways of communicating, obviously. Yeah. Like you said, dreams. Like that's a big one for a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not better or worse. None of them are better or worse than any others. You're gonna get what spirit is trying to convey to you.
Exactly.
Either way, if you're paying attention. I mean, if you're totally blocking them out, then that's going to be frustrating for them. Yeah. But if you're paying attention and you are receptive to spirit, or you at least have the intent to be receptive to spirit, you're going to get the message that they're trying to convey to you.
Even if you don't realize you get it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it can fly under your radar.
A lot.
And you won't realize.
A lot.
Like that happens a lot. Like with Clairaudience, sometimes you'll have a thought and you'll think it's yours, but it's turned, like if you have like an epiphany and you're like, oh my god, why have I never thought of this before? Maybe you didn't think it yourself. Maybe one of your spirit guides told you. And, but that's
because that can be super helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I hope that this was helpful and informative about different ways of connecting with spirit or getting messages from spirit.
Yeah.
You got anything else you want to say?
Don't be scared of all this stuff. I feel like
that's good.
Yeah, being afraid of this stuff is not gonna help you achieve it.
No, especially if you think about like manifestation, which we could talk about some other time.
Yeah.
But you attract things to you.
Yeah.
So
And if
think about what you want to attract to you.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you're just sitting there afraid of your spirit guides, they're not gonna be able to help you. So
they're not scary.
Yeah.
They're not scary at all.
No, they aren't, but I used to think they were. So
Yeah.
And trust yourself.
Yeah.
Trust yourself. If you think you are communicating with spirit, don't doubt yourself.
You probably are.
Don't doubt yourself.
You probably are communicating with spirit if you think that you are. So, yeah. And even if it's not all of the time,
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes you get things right, sometimes you don't. Like, we talked about this in the Spirit Guides video. Your guides and other spirit have to figure out the best way to communicate with you.
Mm-hmm.
So they could be showing you something or saying something or making you smell something and thinking that it's going to convey one message, but you take it a different way. And so then they're going to keep trying to, like, convey the right message. But it's just, like, it's not... All you can try to do is be aware and be open.
Yeah.
That's really all you can do. Just try to notice when those things are happening.
Yeah. Pay attention. Be open. Trust them.
Yeah.
Don't be scared.
Yeah.
Don't be an idiot.
That was a little rude, but I mean, it's not wrong. So.
Yeah. Is that everything we have to say on this?
I believe so.
Okay, well, hope you learned something.
Yeah.
And if you didn't, leave a comment. Tell us your question.
Yeah, tell us what we should be more clear about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's no point in us doing this if it doesn't make any sense.
Tell us if we, like, went too fast or if we didn't start, like...
Or we didn't cover
in the
something.
Right place. Because this stuff is pretty everyday, like, to us at this point. So if there's something we said that we acted like everyone should know what it is and you don't know what it is, that's our fault.
Please tell us.
Tell us.
Because we have no idea.
Yeah.
We are too weird now.
Yeah. We're way gone. Sometimes we'll just talk about things like, you know, fairies in our room and aliens in the basement.
We'll talk about normal.
You're
like it's
looking
normal.
at us like we're crazy.
Which we're not. We're both seeing therapists. And they say we're fine, so...
Yeah. Okay. So, like, comment, subscribe to this channel, please. That would be nice. There's a Tumblr, Spirits and Shit. She answers questions on there, does readings through there. They're really cheap. So go follow that. There's a link in the description. Facebook, email also in the description. However you want to contact her. She'd love to do a reading.
I would love to do a reading, and I'd also love to answer any questions. And that's, like, readings I charge, like, the tiniest amount of money. But ask me questions on Tumblr. Like, I will answer them as soon as I can and as best as I can.
She's good at answering questions. I ask stupid questions about this all the time.
There's no stupid questions. But, yeah, I do have a bit of help answering questions because of the Claircognizance thing.
Exactly.
So...
Hopefully, if we continue to be productive, we will see you next week.
Yeah. Let us know if you have any suggestions what you would like us to talk about.
Yes.
Because we are totally open to suggestions.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.